Hi everybody, John Pike here. I'm doing a video today about a short film that's very meaningful and extremely touching. A short film that won an award at the Cannes Film Festival. It's called The Story of a Sign in English, but it's actually in Spanish, and its title is Historia de un Letrero. The Story of a Sign, as I said, in English. It has English subtitles, and it has some very, very important lessons for marketers that we can learn from. And I'd like you to take a moment to watch that. So what I'd like you to do before you get started with going further with this video is go to your browser and open up another browser and go to Google and Google the words The Story of a Sign short film, and you'll also see the title with what comes up, Historia de un Letrero, come up as well. Go ahead and pause this video, watch that film. It's the story of how a passerby changes the life of a blind man, and there's lots of lessons for us to learn. Hi, it's John Pike here again, and welcome to lesson number 1. I hope you found that short film as meaningful and as touching as I did. The first lesson from that film I'd like to cover is that everybody, you and I, need someone to help show us the way. In other words, you and I need a mentor. Everybody needs a mentor. As you saw in the film, the world is desensitized to our needs. It passed on by, not paying the blind man any attention, despite his attempts to get people to show him compassion. And the world passes us by as well. You might just be another email or a voice in the crowd that people browse or walk past, literally and figuratively. They bypass the voice that calls out from your email. And it often takes somebody successful to show you the way to success, to show you that there's a different way of approaching things that bring very, very different results. Like many online, the blind man was doing the same thing day in, day out. And if he made any money at all, it was almost by accident when somebody dropped a coin that rolled and went against his tin. And it can be the same way online, when people tirelessly try to do what they do again and again for very, very long hours on end, and trying to make a different or get a different result. Well, nobody achieves success on their own. As John Donne, the famous English poet, said several hundred years ago, no man is an island. In fact, everybody successful has had role models to follow, a mentor to follow, even more than one. Napoleon Hill, who's long since passed away, back in the very early 1900s, had the mentorship of Andrew Carnegie, the great steel magnate, an industry great back at that time. In fact, Napoleon Hill, who authored works such as Think and Grow Rich and Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude, worked for free for Andrew Carnegie, learning from him. And Andrew Carnegie sent the young Napoleon Hill out for 20 years to travel around America to interview successful businessmen across industry and across public life. And it ended up that not only did Napoleon Hill author many works and also produce lectures and tape series that can now even be borrowed and heard or bought and listened to today, he also went on to advise 2 US presidents throughout his life. If you look at it, the successful man stopped and showed compassion, but what he gave was much, much more valuable than a one-off donation. You know, when I saw him pull out his pen, I thought he was going to write a cheque and put it in the blind man's till. But instead he picked the sign up and wrote a different message on the back of that sign. But what he gave was much more valuable than just a one-off donation of throwing figuratively a few fish into the blind man's basket and walking on. He taught the blind man how to fish for himself and how a different approach allowed him to have absolute abundance come pouring into his life. Nobody ever outgrows the need to have a mentor. Successful people who've achieved success, even millionaires, will have millionaire mastermind inner circles, and you don't have to wait until you're successful to have inner circles or people that you can share ideas with. That mentorship is required, and it was exemplified by Robert Kiyasaki, who authored the Rich Dad Poor Dad series. Robert Kiyasaki tells the story of how he was mentored by his rich dad, and he had an example to follow. Even very successful multi-millionaires like Anthony Robbins, who wrote Personal Power and does information seminars and motivational seminars and boot camps, stretches our minds and talks about billionaire mentors and billionaire mastermind groups. So remember, everybody needs somebody to show them the way. We all need mentors. So go ahead and pick a mentor. Pick several if necessary. Learn, grow and apply, and you'll be on your way to success.